Some advice to Kevin Feige. If you can't adapt a Marvel Comics storyline and stay true to the source material, then don't adapt it at all. Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s with this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes, 1987 at online booksellers everywhere. I got a chance to take a look at the trailer for Marvel Studios' new Disney Plus series, Secret Invasion. And it's no secret that Kevin Feige and the staff at Marvel Studios were stretched extremely thin when they announced a Secret Invasion series, and what was presented in that trailer was the direct result of Kevin Feige trying to put too many irons into the fire, and instead of us getting a hot story about Skrulls coming to Earth and taking over the identities of superheroes, what we get is an extended episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Nick Fury as the center of the story. And that story really falls flat in comparison to the original comic book version of Secret Invasion, which was an epic Earth-moving event because we had Skrulls not only invading, taking over the identities of people like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, they had also taken over the identities of multiple heroes and had infiltrated many superhero teams, and that would have been a far more compelling story than the one that Marvel Studios is presenting to us in what I believe to be a mediocre adaptation that doesn't really actualize the potential of the story. Now, what's really embarrassing for Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios is the fact that Disney XD already did a far superior Secret Invasion story on its old animated series, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Now, over the course of the Season 1 finale and the halfway point of Season 2 of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, we got a Secret Invasion storyline that blows the doors off this adaptation and even is far superior than the comic book it was based on. The producers of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes gave us a Secret Invasion that took things to another level by making Captain America one of the heroes that was replicated, and that really built up into an extremely compelling story for Secret Invasion because we saw Steve Rogers showing the heart of a hero as he led the captured heroes back to Earth, and those captured heroes then worked towards taking out the Skrulls in a powerful climax where the real Captain America went out here and beat the ultimate knockoff and defeated the Skrull invasion completely. Those episodes of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes had a far more compelling story than what was presented in that trailer for Secret Invasion, which again comes across as a multi-part season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that again just isn't good enough for me as related to Secret Invasion. No, Secret Invasion needed to be a big event similar to that of the Infinity Saga, and it needed to be a huge mystery that took place over the course of several MCU movies, which would having us guessing and twisting and turning until it led to a climax in an Avengers movie. Unfortunately, because Kevin Feige was spread too thin and was out here trying to launch as many projects as possible, focusing on quantity over quality, what happened was we got this adaptation that doesn't really capture the spirit or the heart or the scale and scope of Secret Invasion. No, what we get is a glorified episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. telling us about Skrulls, but not really showing us how dangerous Skrulls can be. Even worse, this series does not answer the critical question I have to answer before I put my fingers to the keyboard, and that is, why should we care? Yes, we see Samuel Jackson as the most wanted man in the world, but we don't see why he is wanted. We don't see a reason to really care, and we don't really see a reason to care about this series because we don't see how big it is in the scale and the scope of the MCU. No, this whole storyline was minimized as related to its whole significance in the MCU, and while some people are happy to see a much more serious tone as related to this story in comparison to all of the jokes we have received in multiple MCU films, it just really doesn't come together strongly for me as I see it, because again, I know how big Secret Invasion can be, and I know how much better executed this concept was on Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So when I look at this execution of concept, it doesn't come across as something that would compel me to watch any of this whole series. And if this is the only two of the best series over at Marvel Studios, then it shows me a studio in serious trouble. And it's a studio in serious trouble because you could have taken Secret Invasion and made it the next saga, but instead you focused on this multiverse saga when the money really should have been invested in building a Secret Invasion of the MCU that most possibly could have redeemed Captain Marvel's overall worth, because with this you could have built up a threat to all of Earth's heroes. But the whole thing is, they instead of doing that, what we got was this kind of mediocre series that really doesn't give me a reason to care any more about the MCU. At this point, where I'm basically burnt out on MCU movies and superhero movies in general, and superhero series in general, because with today, these superhero products, they're all the same thing all the time, off an assembly line, and this Secret Invasion basically feels like a Chevy Cavalier coming off the GM assembly line, and this Chevy Cavalier has a bent tie rod, has a blown head gasket, and it doesn't give me any incentive to go out here and buy it with all of these problems. And this is again another rushed out product that doesn't really actualize the potential of Samuel L. Jackson's acting ability and doesn't actualize the potential of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What I see with Secret Invasion is a burnt out Kevin Feige, a burnt out Marvel Studios, a studio that needed to slow down, and a studio that is desperate in its efforts to regroup. They're launching Secret Invasion and Loki Season 2, which are considered to be the best of the series after the disaster of She-Hulk, but they could have scrapped this one too, because this series doesn't really, again, actualize the potential of the material. So when I look at Secret Invasion, there's no secret that Marvel Studios is overwhelmed, overworked, and seriously overtired, and that's shown in the bland visual effects. It's shown with the really mediocre storyline that adapts really far superior material, and shows me that we have a studio filled with a lot of burnt out writers, burnt out directors, and just burnt out everybody. And that's sad because, again, the superhero movie genre is not going out with a bang. It's going out with a whimper, and it's going out with a whimper because of mediocre material like this. I mean, I don't see any reason to spend $8 a month to watch Disney Plus or $11 a month to watch Disney Plus to see this series. No, this is one that I can easily pass on, and I wouldn't miss anything as related to the MCU, and it really hasn't been much of a reason to watch the MCU since Phase 4, and this is less of a reason to care about the MCU, because if you can take a storyline like Secret Invasion and minimize it to the point where it's a part of a Disney Plus series and not part of an overall larger MCU, then there's no reason to sit there and care about the MCU at this point anymore. It's basically run its course, and this is another indicator to the end of the MCU. So when I look at this whole Secret Invasion, it's no secret Marvel Studios is tired. It's no secret Marvel Studios is running out of steam. It's no secret that Kevin Feige is overwhelmed and stretched too thin. And this trailer for Secret Invasion shows me how Marvel Studios is in a really bad place, and how Marvel Studios really needs a new set of leadership and new direction, because Secret Invasion is no secret that this film is not of, this series is not of good quality, because when you take a story where superheroes are having their identities assimilated and taken over by Skrulls, and you take all the heroes out of the story, then you've taken out one of the core reasons to care about a secret invasion, and you've taken a reason for people to watch the series out off the table. So people, I don't see a reason to care about Secret Invasion, and it's no secret that this is another textbook reason why Marvel Studios is on the decline. And if this was the best of the two series that they're launching this year, then I shudder at what Ironheart would have been, or one of these other series, because it shows me a Marvel Studios that is in a really dire straits at this point. Now, if you want to pick up my comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, you can find that comic on Lulu right now in paperback. And if you want to try my other comic, Esteem, No Good Deed, you can find that on Kindle for 99 cents on Amazon.com. And if you want to pick up some of my action-packed fantasy fiction, like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to help me be able to produce another comic like John Haynes at Death's Door, or Esteem, No Good Deed, and you want to see me do more videos on comics, science fiction, and fantasy, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.